Yeah, yay. Dopest mornings. You know what I'm talking about? Let's get it. What's goody? Yeah, main man King Dopest, the dopest Ethiopian is in the building. Mercedes, good morning, love. Nacho. I think I was pretty close to on time today. Hey. Habesha. Salam. Shout out to everybody in the broadcast. I hope y'all had a great weekend. A great weekend. Let me throw these pictures up, bro. This picture of my guys right here, you know? Rest in peace to these brothers right here, man. Mm, 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 mm. On the thing tripping. You had an amazing weekend. That's what I'm talking about. They won't let me do it. Those are two gentlemen that lost their life in Wisconsin. Um, yeah, they lost their life in Kenosha, Wisconsin by that 17-year-old chump. I don't know why my thing won't let me put it up though. Yes, indeed. Well, today we're going to talk about virtual schooling versus reopening the schools. I was going to wait for some more of the mamas and daddies to get in here. But I was just watching on the news about, you know, unemployment and all that kind of thing. It's like cutting a lot of jobs, man. A lot of industries have decided to decided to cut a lot of jobs. It's unfortunate, man. People already struggling. People already struggling, fam. And they wanna I don't know. I think it's a bigger plan in place behind all this. I mean, it's gonna unfold, the whole COVID thing and how it relates to our future, with a lot of things becoming virtual. If you watched the VMAs last night, they had some of the performances were hey, good morning, brother Daryl. What's up, Biggs? It's unfortunate we allowed it to come. Man. Yeah, it's true. But yeah, it's a lot of jobs being lost, man. This thing is affecting a lot of people in a lot of different ways. COVID. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. If you guys saw me over the weekend, this is the first time I had somebody at my house since March, other than my mother-in-law. But even her, she only been in the house one time for a short period of time. Other than that, she been outside. So, I don't know. It was really awkward even having somebody at the house and trying not to get too comfortable. You know what I mean? And forget the social distancing and all that kind of jazz. It was crazy. It was definitely crazy. But I had a great weekend. Got some things done. Definitely got some things done. It's hard even go back to normal. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think normal will ever be normal again. Like I said, a cough and a sneeze will never be the same. Somebody sneeze and cough around you. Man, I was smoking some herb. Yeah, normal. Yeah, normal is not normal, right? I don't know if I want to be normal anyway. Strive to be different. Strive to be different. But yeah, I was smoking some herb and I had to cough. It was just so weird because like when I coughed, I mean I turned away and covered up and everything. My brother-in-law Matt, he walked to the. It was crazy. Teachers resigning. That's what I'm talking about. Mercedes, is your child does your child go to school or is she in virtual schooling? Yeah, it was crazy, Nacho. It was crazy. We should get to talking about Trey on here. Our buddy Trey. He living with somebody that has corona and they don't seem to be taking all the right precautions, man. I mean, I hope that boy don't get it, but shit. It's hard. It's hard. He said he stay in his bedroom, so I guess they quarantine. But you know, Tina Turner, hey Tina, you know. But I think of Chris Cuomo off of CNN. Cause remember he had it and he stayed in the basement, and his wife would just come to the steps and put his food on the steps of the basement, and then leave back out, and she still ended up getting that shit. Hey MJ, Grand Rising Queen. Yeah, so I don't know how. I told Trey, to be honest, I hated to say it, but if he's gonna stay in the house with dude, damn near the best thing he could do is get it, because he took the test Friday. Test come back Tuesday. So between Friday and Tuesday, if he didn't have it, his test is going to come back negative. Prior to Friday, if he didn't have it, his test is going to come back negative. But if he contracted it between Friday and the time of his test results, he's not going to know because his test is going to come back negative, but he can actually be positive. So that shit is a fucked up thing. And he in a tough position. I don't know if he have another place to stay. Can he go somewhere and stay by himself? Like, this COVID shit is fucked up, man. It creates a whole new set of problems that we didn't have from the jump. We already had a bunch of problems. This just adds a whole nother layer to that. But the schooling is what the focus is today, because we starting another week. We have some places around the country like Miami-Dade, Dade County. They had a really high COVID rate, infection rate. They were high on the hot spot list for a while. I don't know if that's still true, if that numbers are down, but they starting virtual schooling today, which is good. Like I said, being that they were a hot spot, it's best to keep, and that's mostly the adults' fault. The kids is kind of suffering right now because of the adults, because the adults are out and about. They have the choice to take their kids or put themselves in situations that are at high risk. So, this is somewhere the kids are even relying on us to do the proper things when it comes to social distancing and, going back to school and those type of things. I know for me, the schooling has been, interesting to say the least. Especially when you have multiple children doing virtual schooling. You know what I mean? When you have two of them doing it, you can't watch both of them. One is in one room doing it, the other one's in the other room doing it. And you kind of have to sit back and allow the teachers to teach. You know what I mean? It's still their job to teach. Now, where we come in is, if y'all have seen me while I'm live, sometimes my daughter, she'll bring her whole laptop outside. Because I choose to stay outside. While they in the house doing their schooling, I'm outside with it. I'm trying to stay out the way unless needed, to not interfere with any of that. But when she bring her laptop over to me, she have technical difficulties or issues arising in the class, whether it's sharing documents or getting back into the class. So these are some of the challenges that we facing right now. These are some of the smaller challenges. We got bigger challenges too. My county, Orange County, California, our numbers have dropped significantly in the last 2 weeks or so. So they took us off the watch list. When they took us off the watch list, that opened us up to reopening schools. And we were all sent out a letter regarding that, asking if we were going to allow our children to return to school, or were we going to continue with the virtual. If y'all know me, my kids ain't going back to school yet. Because I feel like this first, it's just like when Xbox came out or something, the new Xbox, and everybody rushed to go get the new Xbox. I remember when the Xbox One came out, and everybody was like trying to get them, and I felt so lucky because we had found one online, a place online that wasn't sold out. We got it. We were all pumped. First edition, because it was the Xbox One first edition. Well, the first editions of anything usually suck. You know what I mean? The first editions of most stuff, it pretty much sucks. Because they ain't worked out all the kinks and the bugs. And that's how I feel what's going on with the virtual schooling. Is that it's early into the school year. And a lot of the technology that they using right now has been used, but it hasn't been able to handle the sheer volume of students. And I just think they got some kinks that need to be worked out. But as far as sending our kids back to school, nah, we told them they'll be back the next trimester. Because this first wave of kids is kind of like that Xbox One. It's really going to be like experimental. So we're going to get to see if the big breakout at Alabama College. Yeah. It's going to be like that. They said that. They said it. We're going to send our kids back to school. We're going to see the numbers increase. But, if Joy was in here, she could tell you the lady's name. But she said, we're only going to lose like 10,000 kids or some crazy shit she said like that. Which is maybe that's how they feel. To get everything back rolling. The schools it's a lot of things at play here. You got schools, Trump threatening to cut funding to schools. Yeah, you already know, Daryl. I'm not sending my kids back to after flu season. You can forget about it. And we'll reevaluate it even then. We're going to reevaluate it even then. The kids go back to school when we feel comfortable that but here's the thing too is COVID's not going away. It's not going to go away. You know what I mean? Yeah, I ain't with it. I definitely ain't with it. So yeah, they contacted us. We said they not going back to the next trimester. We gonna thug it out with this virtual schooling, which to this point has been very challenging. Right. It's crazy though. It's crazy. I mean, I sat in there the other day and I was listening to my daughter's teacher, and man, yo, I felt for the teacher. I am not gonna lie. I felt for the teacher in a big way. You know what I mean? Oh, okay. Yeah, we had a lot of birthdays this week. Shout out to Queen Virgo, Dopest Stuff, King's Dopest Diva. They had birthdays. I hope, they were, I already know what they were socializing, so let's hope all of that went well and they stayed safe. When I talk to the school, they're almost expecting to have to send kids back home. Yeah, that's the other part of it is we're going to send our kids to school, and I'm telling you, as soon as 1 or 2 kids come to school with that virus, it's going to spread fast. I think that's the people that people don't understand this about COVID. it's not that COVID is so much worse than the flu. I think that's the problem that people are having to understand. COVID is more infectious than the flu. It can be transmitted a whole lot easier than the flu. That's like the biggest part of it that people just keep leaving out. Yeah, they're gonna have to send kids back home, which means they're expecting for kids to get it. They said it. I mean, I don't even know how, no other way to you know, how much more simpler. They said it over and over again. We're gonna send kids. What's that lady's name? OneLoveFam.com. The one that doesn't have any experience to do with nothing about teaching, but she's steady the one. Oh, we may lose some kids and this, that, and the other. Saying it like it's nothing, but it's not hers. It's not her kids. K Velas or some shit like that. I don't know. Some wacky. That's just her opinions on COVID ain't no more valid than mine, because she talking from a place of out of her scope. You know what I'm saying? She talking about shit she don't know about. She doing just as good as us when it comes to information, obviously. Or she just don't give a fuck. Because I couldn't send the kids back knowing we was going to lose one kid. You know what I mean? I couldn't send them back knowing we going to even lose one. There go the birthday girl right there. Betsy DeVos, that's her name. I don't know where I came from K with, but Betsy DeVos. She's the one, she's making decisions and trying to implement her agenda on these kids going back to school. Her Betsy the devil, right? Cause she's sick with it. I ain't even gonna lie. Hey baby girl. Oh, Miss V was good. It's a lot of problems. Let's just discuss this. Well, in the 30 minutes that I watched my daughter last Friday, it was crazy. My daughter's in the 3rd grade. She's in the 3rd grade. And so primarily all I heard for a half hour was you had one child doing this. Literally doing that for like 4 minutes while the teacher keeps saying, such and such, can you please mute the mic and raise your hand? Because it was crazy because, you know, we use Zoom and Bigo Live Me, and I can mute all the mics in my broadcast, right? I can mute all the mics. It was so crazy to see that this teacher didn't even have control of like who could speak. Right, 3rd going on 9th. She didn't have control of who could speak in the class. So you had another kid, while this one kid was going, you had another kid that just kept saying her name. Man, such and such. Man, such and such. And he would not stop saying her name. And I could hear the frustration, you know, building within her. She kept asking the same kids over and over, can you please mute your microphone? And I guess they have a button where they can raise their hand. Then you throw in the technical issues they were having. And I heard very little teaching. It was more like a virtual daycare. Now I could say that this is only a couple of weeks in. I know that there's a lot of bugs and kinks and stuff that need to be fixed technical wise in terms of how smoothly the classes run and things like that. But I was looking at a article last night talk about um, some of the pros and cons. Like as far as the technology part, the pros of it are, the kids get to learn tech stuff. And some of the kids, once they get their hands on something to do with the computers and this, that, and the other, they excel. Um, and with the internet, you have unlimited access to information, this, that, and the other. So the technology part, it does have its pros, but the cons, like I already just explained, are that some of the stuff doesn't work because it's the first time that they've had this volume. Hey, how you doing, Camp? This volume of students on one server. My kids still doesn't have their platforms together for schoolwork. They just threw a fifth platform at us this morning because so many kids are transferring. Right. We looked into that as well. K-12, I think the other one's called Discovery something or Destiny something like that. I can't remember, but we looked into some of the other ones and they actually aren't accepting new students. So we kind of forced to stay with our local school district and what they're providing online, which, like I said, at this point, it has a lot of work to be done. Some kids' internet was hacked. That's going to be another issue in regards to schooling. But like I said, if you have one child, it's pretty difficult. But if you have two children, plus size chick advised me the other day to get one of those baby monitors, those baby video cameras or whatever, those video cameras to put in there so I could watch the kids without being in there. Because I ain't gonna lie, my son, I went back there the other day. I heard some rustling in the back. I'm watching his daughter do her schoolwork in the living room. I heard something in the back. And he knows I try to stay out the way while they're doing their schooling. So he figured he can go back there and jump on the Xbox while he's in class. I said, oh, no. That's a no-go. And they are putting creepy ass, this dog, my lord. My kid's school district has 1,000 kids or staff. Staff out due to... Yeah, but that's what's going to happen. That's exactly what's going to happen is that we're going to send the kids back to school and ultimately they're going to get sent back home. And the only difference is they're going to get sent back home possibly having that virus. It's the truth. These schools totally expect to be able... And then here's the other part. They gave us an option. And like I said, we just made a mutual decision to keep our children out of school until the next trimester. However, now you got a situation to where you're going to be expecting teachers to teach online classes while also having in-person classes. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's what I said. They being forced into opening these schools or they going to lose funding. Yeah, to me that's the part that some people don't see. But oh my gosh, hold on a second, you guys. Damn it, dog out here running loose. Scare tactics. I mean, shit, that's what they gonna do. Is bullying. Yeah, they gonna lose funding. So they forcing, but what it's doing is it's kind of like when COVID first started. I mean, shout out to all the frontline workers, but you had a lot of nurses because they weren't being protected. You know, with the PPEs and all that, they they resigned from their positions. Exactly the same thing that's happening right now. You know, with the teachers. You got teachers that, I mean, I already said my daughter's teacher from last year, she's older and she lives with her elderly mom. There's no way I could see her going back to school. You know, folks need to come together, right, and vote them out. They got to. Yeah. So I mean, as soon as one kid, and this was a point I was making, what's what's the only free form of daycare most people have? Let's just keep it real. Especially if you got two parent households where both the parents are working. That's the best, the freest daycare you can have is school. So I guarantee you, when the schools reopen, like our children's school has, that most of the people that send their kids back to school are going to be people that can't afford daycare, can't afford to stay home with their children. Yeah. Ain't that many stay at home. I was telling this to Joy last night. This ain't the 60s, the 70s, and all that. It ain't that many stay at home moms anymore in most communities. Again, now we're going to get to talking about the, you know, the financial effect of this as in terms of the people that have and the people that have not, because resources in certain communities as far as internet, availability of laptops. I went and tried to buy a webcam. We tried to buy a webcam online. Like, you can't even purchase a lot of stuff online with the influx of homeschooling, laptops, webcams. I was looking at something on I don't know if it was USA Today, I believe, where it's a shortage of desks. Desk? There's a shortage of desks. It's hard to buy desks because people are buying desks for their homes now, so their children can, have the classroom kind of set up at the house. So yeah, this thing has a bigger, because I was trying to buy a webcam for my show. I said, damn, webcams is on back order for a month? We had to pay extra to get this. We had to pay like $50. You know, they milking it. All these companies, they milking it. Just for me to get a webcam, I had to pay an extra $50, or I wasn't gonna get it till a month later or some shit. It's because everything going virtual, so now you got people. What about the families that can't afford it? The government doesn't provide free internet. They should, even if it's a slow speed, You know, damn, something a little bit better than dial up. I mean, they should be able to provide. The government doesn't even provide us internet. You know, something that they could charge, $1 a month. I don't know. Something for low income. I haven't heard about it. If it does exist. So maybe I really don't know. Yeah, they milking everything. It's money to be made from this for certain companies, but like I said, there's a lot of major companies, and especially the airlines. I know a couple people personally in the One Love Nation, our family members that lost their jobs during, well, some of them in the last couple weeks lost their jobs due to COVID. So now they put in that position of having to deal with the unemployment, stimulus, this, that, and the other, on top of dealing with their kids and this virtual learning. So how do you go out, look for a new job, and you got a child at home that needs to be on a computer from 8 to 1 or 8 to 2? AT&T has internet for $10 a month only if you're on SSI or EBT. Well, that's good though. But that's good. But what if you working poor? It's a lot of working poor people. People that work every day that are, barely making ends meet. So $10 may not seem like a lot to us, to most, but shit. You talking about $10 extra to somebody that's barely paying their bills. And then you got 2-3 kids, and they only gave you one laptop from the school because of the resources are depleted. How do you do that? How do we get around those issues? That's a lot when you're on a budget. Your budget is set. Now you got to scrape out $10 more. And then, like I said, on top of that, you got people losing their jobs. Like, a lot of people are fortunate. Like, here in this household, we're fortunate that, no jobs are taken. Hours ain't been cut. Our income has not really been affected to any big degree because of COVID. There's a lot of people, man, and I feel for them. We're a family that, like, we're okay. So I don't want to take resources from the school that I don't need to. Did you see the pic of 2 little girls sitting outside Taco Bell with their laptops just to get Wi-Fi? Right. And if Starbucks was still open and allowing people to sit in that motherfucker, it'd be full. Starbucks would be full of kids trying to do their schoolwork if they let you still sit up in there. I had to raise my internet bill just so my 4 kids could do schoolwork. This is what I'm saying. But like I said, my biggest concern and the biggest reason as to why I was not going to send my kids back to school, our kids back to school as of yet, is the fact that I know that a lot of parents use the schools as free daycare. And they are going to send their kids to school sick. They're going to send their kids to school sick. I know. I took my kids to school every day every morning, picked them up every day from school. Seattle Public School has internet available for children and also hotspots for the phone. That's good. Well, that's dope. At least that is being addressed. At least that is being addressed. I already said I wish that something would come into place where laptops were made available to all children. Um, because like I said, at our school, for our kids, resources are limited. So basically it's like, you may have, and like I said, if they go to school from 8 to 1 and there's one laptop, because I believe in my kids' school, it has to be like a Google Chromebook or some shit. It has to be something to do with Google to be able to get into the. Yeah, they had them. They had laptops. What? Oh, you mean Right, right. That's what we did too, Miss V. Right, right. But you may have to because what you have, unless you can afford to go buy another one. But like I said again, you got a country full of people that are losing their jobs. You got a country full of people losing their jobs. So all these new expenditures and this, that, and that, it's tough. So when you have some people that gotta go, their parents gotta go look for a job or gotta go to work, and they have an option of sending their kid back to school as opposed to keeping them home. Man, watch what I tell you. Watch what I tell you. It's the truth. You gonna see a bunch of snotty nosed kids back up at the school, and I was snapped. I ain't gonna lie. In the past, I used to come home and I used to tell Joy, man, these parents brought their kids to school and their nose was running because, and this is another reason why I'm not sending my kids back to school. My kids, well, particularly Mo. Mo got sick all the time. I think last year, some of it was a hustle too, because he's a very crafty young man. But he got sick an awful lot. Yeah, mine started 2 weeks ago. Mine started 2 weeks ago. And again, those of you that only have one child, please be thankful that you do. Because you see Miss V in here talking about 4 kids. I can't imagine. I told you I walked in the other day. My son was playing Fortnite with his laptop open. I was like, what indeed? What is this? I didn't say it like that though. He's crafty like his daddy, Miss V. Yeah, he crafty. That boy said, hey, kisses, good morning. I said, what is this? This boy is playing Fortnite. You know? So, yeah, these are the issues we have facing us. I, again, don't want to jump the gun because I don't believe it's a failure. I just believe, it's a few factors in play. They weren't prepared for this, obviously. 2, the teachers aren't trained in this. Whatever training they got over the summer, I don't think it was, not from what I heard so far, does the same thing, huh? I caught Marley doing it. She had her phone. Her friend, look, Marley was in class the other day. Her little 9-year-old friend called her on the phone while she was in class. Said, y'all ain't working a job here. Y'all ain't at the office. They taking calls and shit. Yeah, girl. Yeah, girl. I'm just sitting in this motherfucking class. Real shit. I'm just sitting in this class. I said, girl, if you don't put that phone up somewhere. It's just the challenges we having. These are the challenges we face as parents in 2020. Yeah, earthquake. My kids' teachers are running two classrooms at once, so the virtual kids are putting. Also, your kids, your school district has already started the both in class and virtual. Our kids' school, I don't believe, have started that yet. They just gave us the opportunity to decide that the other day. But that's gonna be bananas. That's gonna be look. Let's and we ain't even got into the social issues as far as uh um we haven't got to the other social issues as far as kids not being around other kids and this that. But I was reading this article. The kids still do interact with other kids, believe it or not. Because my child is in the chat nonstop talking to the other kids and interacting and whatnot. My kids still video chat, Zoom, and all that with their friends. But as far as like playing kickball, tag, and all that, obviously they're not doing that. But they still are interacting with other kids. I really do feel for the teachers, yo. I'm in agreement with you, One Love fam. I am totally feeling for the teachers because you got to remember the teachers gonna be at high risk. That means they're gonna be putting their families at home. So you either got teachers that are young with families because me and Joy, our sister-in-law, is a teacher. She's teaching from home. She's teaching from home. Listen to this. My sister-in-law, Karis, is teaching from home while having two children online at home. What? Go figure that. Oh, and then the kids ain't even gonna be allowed to play. I don't know if y'all know that here in Orange County they not. They're gonna have to eat lunch. And this is what's so weird. They gotta eat lunch inside. I think they just held a hiring event for our school district. Yeah, teachers. I look if my daughter's teacher from last year, if she walked out today, hey, what's up, Mahasa? My daughter started school last week. Her teacher has a double class online and in class at the same time. Yeah, look, I think if it was a blanket deal to where everybody stayed home or and again that's tough because how many people can leave their kids at home? This is a fucked up situation. There's no daycare. Daycare, you might as well send them to school. So what do you do? What do you do? I kind of everything seemed like it's going, and I want y'all to go look up this movie if you haven't seen it. It's called Idiocracy. Idiocracy. I watched this movie about I don't know 17, 18 years ago. One of the fun. But when I was watching a movie, and it's kind of about the future, and I was like, is this really what the future is gonna be like? And it kind of seemed like it is. It's like nobody's going to be interacting with people personally. If you watched the VMAs last night, yeah, please, you guys, hit the thumbs up on the video for me. Please, that's great. If you watched the VMAs last night, they had a lot of the performances were like at a drive-up thing. Like, that's a new thing. That is definitely a new thing. Drive-up concerts, drive-up entertainment. Where you sit in your car, like at a drive-in movie theater. They put the little speaker thing in the window, and you enjoy the entertainment. It seemed like that's like some type of future, like the future, you know what I mean? The classrooms look like jail. The only way I could see is if you built the classrooms with all plexiglass little cubicles. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. We're being thumbed down? What do you mean? Dictatorship. I really did, be honest. I sat up last night for quite some time reading articles, looking for information to give y'all on some resolutions, some ideas. There are none. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. And that I think that's more deflating than anything. There are none. We are literally in a fucked up situation when it comes to our children in school. Yeah, I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know. We are really in a fucked up situation when it comes to our children in school. I told y'all I'm gonna keep these people. Especially my guy Anthony Huber on the right. Is my new hero squad. You know what I mean? Since they trying to make this other dude a hero, I'm gonna keep this dude's face in the forefront. You know what I'm talking about? Anthony Huber. Revolution. Hey, that's why we gonna keep him on the forefront over here. Anthony Huber, man. He stuck up for people. He's a lot braver than a lot of motherfuckers, I tell you that. Oh yeah, I watched it. You know, Joy, she on top of that. She showed me all that. Kyle Rittenhouse punching on a girl. But then you got major politicians in this country saying he needs to be our next president. We just supposed to ignore all of that. We just supposed to ignore all of that. We supposed to ignore all of that. Right. Well, his mom has been complicit in all of this. Let's just keep it real. She's been an accessory to all this bullshit. So, it's no wonder where he may have gotten his ideologies and life from. I'm not surprised at all. His mom is definitely part of the problem. You know what I'm saying? But that's for another time. This right here is actually um, way more important because we got a nation of children right now that they lost. They're as lost as their parents navigating this virtual versus reopening of schools. The reopening of schools is the dumbest shit that I have heard. It is. It's just the dumbest shit. You know what I mean? It's the dumbest shit I've heard. Because everybody's going to be at risk. Because as we've seen across this country, parents and adults aren't following social distancing guidelines. They ain't stopped going to the strip clubs, the pool parties, the beach parties, the anythings. So what you gonna think is gonna happen when you throw kids in the mix of this corona soup? You know what I mean? It's gonna be a sign. I mean, it's sad. The other day in Georgia, the youngest kid in the country passed away. I think it was a 1-year-old boy died of COVID in Georgia over the weekend, or maybe on Friday. Yeah. Yeah. And again, I want to point out to y'all, you have a lot of people out there that to justify and rationalize their decision to go out, not social distance, continue to live life as it was 2019 as opposed to 2020 and the issues that we face. You know, it's not gonna stop. It's not. And then you interject kids that they not gonna be able to not touch each other, and like you gonna have our kids going to school virtually to ignore the other students when they actually probably have more interaction with them online than they would under these new guidelines that you putting for children where they can't eat lunch together. There is no recess. Let me ask y'all this. Without recess, what is the point even having your kids at school? I'm going to just keep it real. Without recess, because my thing is that the teachers aren't trained to do the online schooling, so they having a little bit of problem with that. But I feel like once they're trained and once everything is focused on virtual schooling, what is the point? They not going to be able to play kickball, tag, none of that shit. So what is the point? I don't understand it. They want the kids to be able to, my daughter, my son could give two craps about going back to classroom setting. He could care less. Joy went in there and told him the other day, he was like, oh, okay. Hey, you won't be going back to school, son, until next trimester. Oh, okay. He probably went in the room and was like, yes. Fortnite. I swear, he probably went in the room and was like, yes, Fortnite. I got some more time. My daughter, on the other hand, I don't even think she knows yet because she's going to cry. She is a social butterfly. She want to bounce from her little group of friends to group of friends to group of friends all around school. My daughter would be a prime candidate to be catching some shit. Real shit. She'd be a prime candidate. Because she goes from this group of pack of girls to this pack of girls. To this pack of girls to that pack of girls. So, yeah, she'd be a prime candidate. And if she's not allowed to do that, what is the point in her being in a classroom setting? Because I keep hearing all this shit about the kids need to go back to school because they need the social aspect of school and it's that. The way they setting our kids' school up, it's not going to be like that anyway. So what's the argument? Other than the fact you're going to be putting teachers, custodians, cafeteria workers, librarians, and nurses at the school, and administration and office workers at risk. I literally just saw a poll in there that said people ain't taking the vaccine, which is surprising to me. They said people aren't going to take the vaccine even if it's made free and easy to access. People ain't even going to be taking the vaccine. So I don't even... The rush for what? Man, people in this country are so disenchanted with everything that comes out of officials' mouths that people disenchanted with that shit. Oh, you think I'm finna rush down here? Especially under this administration. Shit. Not I. My son was actually sad, but now he has all his friends' numbers, so he's pumped. My son needs the one-on-one with the teacher, and I'm not a teacher. That is true. That is true. Right. They're going to have suppressors. They already said that whatever vaccine they come out with is not going to be enough. There's going to have to be another one to go with it. It's going to be like flu suppressors. It's like you got flu and cough medicine in your house. You're going to have virus, COVID medicine in your house. And it's for when you get the symptoms to suppress the symptoms. It's not going to be a vaccine like it was for polio or measles or some shit like that. Yeah, they're suppressors to suppress the symptoms. Cause that's why people say, "Oh, I took some flu medicine." That's not gonna get rid of the flu. The flu is gonna have to run its course. What this thing do is slow the mucus down, slow the sore throat. Yeah. But I'm going to be honest. If you ask the majority of people, they don't know these things. Let's just keep it real. Some people ain't never even took the time to think about these things. All they know is flu medicine, cough syrup. They don't know that it's not eradicating what you got. So it's going to be the same thing. I said this back from Jump Street when they started talking about it. You can ask Joy. I've said that repeatedly, that there's not going to be a vaccine. It's only going to be suppressors, just like we got all these. I can go show you in my house. I can't even tell you how many cough and flu and nighttime stuffies, sneezing kind of medicines we got in the fucking house. It's going to be the same thing with COVID. You know, as soon as they come up with a good vaccine, Tylenol, and y'all name some other companies, they gonna come up with their brand of fucking Corona suppressor. Get your Corona syrup. That's what it's gonna be. COVID syrup. Right. Cause you know what? Up until I got sick at the beginning of the year, but before that, I haven't been sick in 3 to 4 years. I hadn't had no kind of cold, flu, none of that, and that's with my kids coming home. Like I said, last year was a rough year for my son, even though I know some of it was his craftiness, but the last couple years, my son got sick at school all the time. All the time. He'd come home and have a cough for a week. He'd come home and he'll be back at school for 2 weeks, and he'd come back home and he's sick again. You know, like, and I know why, because people gotta go to work. So if you get up at 6:30 in the morning, your kid gotta be gone by 7:30, and you gotta go to work around the same time. You might not even really take the time to really actually look at your kid. And then some people, oh man, I got 5 minutes to get to work, and then you notice your kid got a runny nose. Most of them parents dropping their kids off at school anyway. It's a fact. I seen it with my own 2 eyes. I done seen it with my own 2 eyes. Most kids is gonna get dropped off at school anyway, because their parents ain't got time to call in sick. They need the money. It's the truth of the matter. Everybody's at risk all of a sudden. Now everybody's at risk. So, with that being said, I am for virtual schooling. My oldest child, my oldest son, not my oldest child, but my oldest son, Kasai, we had him in K-12. Measles, polio, tetanus, hepatitis A and B are a few viruses that have a vaccine. Chicken pox. I'm blessed to still have my mom and grandma, so I have help. That's good. That is good. And like I said, in our situation here, it's fortunate that I'm able to be home with the kids, work from home and do all that kind of jazz, so I can be there. So some of these things that we talking about, God has blessed me that I'm not in that position, but I really, really feel for each and every one of y'all that are in the position to have to really make a decision on whether to send your kid back to school or allow them to be virtually schooled. I'm not in that position to have to make that decision, really. It's a no-brainer on my end, but I feel for the parents that don't have that help. It's really more so about them, like how do they get around it? I don't think it's any way. The country, you know what's so crazy about America? And this is real shit. We act like we won United States, but think about the name, United States. We're just a bunch of little ass countries that call themselves one country. Have y'all ever realized that? We're not one country. Are you fucking kidding me? We're not. None of the states have the same laws. Did y'all know that? Every state has laws individual to themselves. And that's what happened during this pandemic. Every state was allowed to make their own rules and regulations. There was no blanket, we are all together rules that were put out. Some states have the death penalty. Some states don't. Some states you can buy weed. Some states that should have sent you to prison. Nothing about this shit is united other than it's the truth. And if y'all did y'all research, Texas has actually been, I don't know if they're the only one, but they're the one I know of. Texas is literally asked to be considered their own country. Research that. And it may be more states than that have tried to stray away from the union. It's the truth. All of those took at least 10 years. Oh, I mean, go look at the numbers on how many people chicken pox, measles, and polio and all them things killed. Well, they originally said right off the bat it'd be at least 18 months. We only about, what, 8, 9 months into this pandemic? Let me see. We ain't even that far. Yeah, we about 6, 7 months. But they knew about it prior, though. But yeah, this is COVID-19. So there was 18 different strains of COVID prior, and we don't know how many have happened since COVID-19. Like, we don't know. I don't know the number. I'm sure there is a number if we did the research, but yeah, we're speaking only on COVID-19. There's other strains of COVID. You got some companies that some geneticists are working on one that's like a blanket one that can suppress all the strains of COVID. So some of the vaccines they're working on aren't just for COVID-19. It's for all strains of COVID. Yeah, COVID-19 is just one. That is correct. But let's just be clear. Even with a suppressor vaccine, some people, before they get to the vaccine or to the suppressors, they're gonna succumb to the virus. No, I feel you, Mahasa. All information is greatly welcome. So it's named COVID-19 because of the year it came. Okay. Yeah, that's right. It was December, right? When people first kind of got a whiff of it. But again, if we go back to December, if we were truly United States or January or February or March, if we were truly a United States of America, we would have had a blanket stay-at-home order from the jump. It wouldn't have been, well, LA, let's see what LA does. Okay, LA is on lockdown. Well, Texas, we not going, we reopening. Miami, oh nah, Louisiana, we still gonna have Mardi Gras in March. Jazz Festival or whatever. They still had all this shit going on, man. What is united about the United States of America? Is it the laws? Is it, somebody tell me that. What in this country is universal? Not a damn thing. Not a damn thing. Ain't nothing in this country the same in all states. Every state is basically their own little country, with the governor being their own little mini president. I'm telling you the truth. Every state has its own way of doing things. So I don't know what's united. It's not a united front. It's not a united nothing. It's states of America. It's the continent we live on, and it's a bunch of states on it that rule and govern their own. You know what I mean? That's really what it boils down to. Because if we were united, when New York went on lockdown, LA went on lockdown, and all these other places went on lockdown, everybody should have been on lockdown. It would have significantly decreased the spread of this virus. And I don't know any doctors of repute that are going to go live online or TV and say otherwise. I mean, it's the truth. It is the truth. So there's no answers for this other than as far as I believe in virtual schooling for now. Um, I want to give it some time. We only couple weeks for me. Some people starting today like Diva's kids, and I think plus size. Her son started last week or so, something like that, or he starts this week. I think a lot of them start this week. Miami-Dade, like I said earlier, Dade County in Miami, they starting today. So, in the next few weeks, we'll have some more information on all of this stuff, and we'll be able to see where we at. I just thought it was cool to talk about today because, it's the start of the week. A lot of kids starting school today. I want to see how it goes. This week on the 4th, that's when your son starts? Okay. So, I already know, I'm telling y'all some of the challenges. Again, my third grade daughter is very, it's very tough to listen to the teacher trying to even teach. Maybe it's different for kids that are a little bit older. Like I said, you got some kids that's gonna be a little bit, you at work, and you if you trusting your kid to be doing their schoolwork, that's exactly what you got to be very trusting. So we'll see. Those kids that are bad online is the ones who acted up in school, but now the world can see. This is true. This is true. This is true. It just sucks, man. Everything about this shit sucks. Like I said, I know quite a few people in the last 3 weeks that lost their jobs. So financially, like I said, you got people that got to go out and look for work, as well as be concerned about their kids being home and being school. It's a tough situation. However, we gonna get through this shit together. Worst thing we could do is get frustrated and just like throw our hands up and be like, yeah, whatever they say goes. Fuck that. That's what I'm not doing. So all my decisions will be based off of information, not feelings, not because I'm forced to. It's just gonna be strictly off information. And I know for a fact, out of their own mouths, they said we're gonna send these kids back to school, and we know a bunch of kids are gonna get the virus. Already happened in Atlanta. We saw the girl in the hallway and all the kids with no mask crammed together. What happened? That school got shut down and everybody sent home. So it's bound to happen. Everybody pray for the kids. Keep the kids close to your heart, because this is our future. So, they're being deprived of birthdays. What's so crazy? You got a lot of grown-ups complaining about missing their birthdays, and they done had fucking 30, 40, 50 birthdays. These kids are spending their birthdays and all the birthday parties y'all had growing up. A lot of these kids ain't even having those. Keep that in mind. They missing out on a lot of their childhood experiences that we hold dear to us. My oldest daughter can still remember me bringing cupcakes and shit. She 28 years old now. She can still remember me bringing cupcakes to her first grade class and celebrating her birthday with her class. That's not going to take place right now. And who knows when that will take place again. I pray it won't be long, because these interactions are vital to our human development. So, yeah. I hate it. I know all of y'all do too. I saw that on the news. Trump going to Wisconsin, even though the governor is begging him not to. I think we all know that Cheeto Face does what the fuck he wants to do. I know that. Marley is about to have a home birthday. Think about her though. She makes the best out of most situations. So as long as she got some cake and gifts and her best friend Charlene and Emma on the phone, she'll be alright. For this one. I don't know about next year. But for this birthday, Marley will be okay. We got birthdays, man, coming up back to back. But again, y'all know the slogan, free love is the best love. We will revisit this topic because it ain't going nowhere. We're just getting started. So we're going to check back in and do an update maybe next week and see how your kids did in their first week of virtual schooling. Yeah, we're just going to talk about it and get through this shit together. You know, free love is the best love. I only know one love. And